So, today we're diving into a corner of financial law that feels more like a high stakes drama than a textbook chapter. We're talking about a financial rescue mission, a story filled with broken promises, reputations on the line, and a last minute hero swooping in to save the day. Let's get right into it. Okay, so just picture this for a second. A formal, written financial promise has been made. Money is supposed to change hands, but when the day comes, nothing. The promise is broken. This isn't just an awkward moment, it's a full blown crisis. So, what happens then? In the world of finance, this specific situation is called a dishonored bill of exchange. And believe me, it is a huge deal. It's not just about the money that wasn't paid. A public dishonor like this can absolutely crush a person's or a company's financial reputation. And when the stakes are that high, a simple default isn't the end of the story. It's the exact moment a rescue becomes necessary. Right, so to really get a grip on the solution, we first have to understand the problem. We're looking at a promise in peril, a genuine moment of crisis in the life cycle of this important financial document. And this is where our main character enters the scene, acceptance for honor. Think of it like this. Way before credit scores and digital footprints, a person's honor, their reputation, was their financial passport. A broken promise could ruin them. So this legal mechanism allows a third party, an outsider, to step in, accept the bill, and literally save that person's financial good name from public ruin. So, the alarm bells are ringing. A bill has been dishonored. But now we see a path to a rescue. Let's dig into how this intervention actually gets started. Who can be the hero here, and what exactly do they have to do? Now, what's really fascinating is how flexible this is. The rescuer doesn't have to be some big bank or someone already involved in the deal. Nope. Any person can decide to step in. They can do it to save the reputation of the person who created the bill in the first place, the drawer, or for anyone who endorsed it along its journey. And if they don't say who they're doing it for, the law just assumes they're protecting the original drawer's honor. And this is no back-of-the-napkin agreement. The procedure is very strict, very formal, and very public. First, the dishonor has to be officially recorded by a legal professional, a notary, in a process called a protest. Then, the person who currently holds the bill has to agree to this intervention. And finally, our hero, the acceptor for honor, has to make a formal declaration, in writing, right there on the bill itself. Now, jumping in to save someone's reputation is a noble thing to do, but it definitely comes at a price. As the saying goes, with great honor comes great responsibility. The acceptor is now taking on a very real, very serious new burden. And this note here gets right to the heart of that burden. It's crystal clear. The acceptor is now legally binding themselves to everybody in the chain who comes after the person they just saved. They have effectively stepped into that person's shoes and taken their place in the line of fire. So let's just untangle this new web of liability. The acceptor for honor, let's call them the AFH, is now on the hook to pay the bill's holder and anyone else down the line. But, and this is a big but, the tables have also turned. The person whose reputation was just rescued is now liable to the AFH for everything they end up paying out, plus any damages. It's a total reshuffling of who owes what to who. You can really see the new chain of command here. The party that got saved, they're off the hook with the holder, for now. But they've got a brand new debt to their rescuer. And meanwhile, that rescuer, the acceptor for honor, has shouldered the original responsibility. They are now the one guaranteeing payment to the holder.
But wait, the acceptor's liability isn't a done deal just yet. A few more hoops have to be jumped through. First, when the bill finally comes due, it has to be presented one last time to the original person who was supposed to pay. If they still refuse, the bill has to be officially protested again, but this time for non-payment. Only after all that can the holder go to the acceptor for honor, and they have to do it fast, no later than the day after the bill was due.
Everything we've talked about has been building towards this one single moment. The bill is due, it's been dishonored again, and now it's time for the acceptor to finally make good on their promise. This is it, the final act of honor. And just like the acceptance, the payment itself has its own formal procedure. You can't just slide some cash across the table. First, that non-payment has to be officially noted or protested. Next, the person paying for honor has to go in front of a notary public and formally state their intention to pay. Then, the notary records that declaration, which makes the whole act of payment official and legally solid. So,
Our hero has done it. They've paid the bill, they've saved someone's reputation, and the holder of the bill is finally happy. But what about the rescuer? What do they get out of all this? Well, let's talk about the rights they've just earned. And here it is, the payoff, spelled out right in the source material. The person who pays for honor isn't just left with an empty wallet. They are now entitled to all the rights of the holder. This is a fundamental shift in power. So what does that mean in the real world? It means two massive things. One, they literally step into the original holder's shoes, gaining all the legal power that comes with that position. And two, they now have the absolute right to go after the person whose honor they saved and recover every single penny they paid out. And we're not just talking about getting the principal back. Oh no, the law is very specific about this. The payer for honor can recover the full amount plus interest plus all expenses they incurred during this whole rescue mission. They are meant to be made completely whole. This quote just nails it. It perfectly captures the total transformation that's taken place. The rescue mission is complete. The rescuer, who started as an outside volunteer, now holds all the cards. They have become the new holder of the bill, fully entitled to claim what they are now owed. And that brings us to one last thing to chew on. This entire legal process is built around a very old-world idea of honor and public reputation. It kind of makes you wonder, right? In our modern world of instant digital payments, credit scores, and complex algorithms, does this idea of financial honor still really mean anything? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.